Amazing thing is that that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain. It's raining! That's unbelievable! Oh. NASA's playing God. It's making its own weather.
Are all over the world and come in many sizes and many shapes. You've seen them in the nuclear power plants, and you've seen them in some of the industrial complexes, and they're all being used to manipulate the weather around the world, since we do not have any more normal weather, nor have we had normal atmospheric nature's weather for over a couple decades at least, which I'll get into in a little bit. So as you can see from these images, not only are they using tons and tons of water to create water vapor while telling us we're in a water drought, but they're also using effluents from our waste to spread up into the air, along with all the other coal and crap that goes through these machines that are all, as I said, are all around the world. So as you can see, these water surface air coolers are being used to manipulate the weather. We can see it in so many different places, and so many different styles, and so many different shapes. And what I find absolutely astounding is the geoengineering and chemtrail community that has been active for over 10 years has not even addressed this issue, except for Weather Wars 101 and Sophia Smallstorm. So this is a whole new avenue for geoengineering and for the chemtrail activists to get involved with and start discussing how wet surface air coolers, WSAC, are a huge part in the entire weather manipulation closed loop system, using chemtrails, barium salt to activate the clouds so the water vapors can interact, and then the NEXRAD, Doppler, HARP facilities, radio frequencies to steer the weather. And here you can see it's like the Home Depot of water surface air coolers. That's how prevalent these all are.
The heated up water from the condenser outlet is sprayed in the cooling tower, which induces a natural air draft, and the sprayed water loses heat. This is how a colder liquid is always provided at the condenser inlet.
Like a wet source air cooler cloud right there. And so for all you deniers who think that cloud machines don't exist, yes, I called it a cloud machine. Well, there's your proof. These things actually do affect the clouds in the sky and contribute to weather modification. Okay? Unless this is a fire, you're seeing a wet source air cooler adding moisture to the air in massive, massive quantities. Okay? See that? Smokestacks that are putting out steam. Wet source air cooler is putting out steam, and it's creating a cloud. Okay? Weather Wars 101 was correct. You can see the proof right here. things are involved in geoengineering. I don't know what else to tell you, because look right here. This thing is creating moisture to add to the clouds to control the weather. Look at that thing, it's massive. Huge. Huge. See all that cloud cover it's creating? You don't believe it. I don't know what else to tell you.
The Niagara Wet Surface Air Cooler, or WSAC, is a heat removal device used to efficiently and reliably cool or condense various liquids or gases. One way of describing how a WSAC works is to compare it to a typical shell and tube heat exchanger. A shell and tube is a sensible cooling device where the process stream being cooled is on one side of the tubes, and the cooling water, normally from a cooling tower, is on the other side. If you remove the shell, expose the bare tubes, spray water and induce air over the tube surfaces, you now have an evaporative heat transfer device known as a wet surface air cooler. Here is a typical wet surface air cooler system. The process stream to be cooled or condensed flows inside specially designed tube bundles. Water is sprayed over the outside of the tubes, and air is induced over the bundles in a co-current direction using fans. The cooling effect takes place at the tube exterior surfaces through latent or evaporative heat transfer. The saturated air and water mixture then makes two 90-degree turns, slows down, releasing any large water droplets back into the basin. The warm saturated air is finally discharged up at high velocity through the fan stacks. Niagara wet surface air coolers are designed with a co-current downward flow of air and water